Hi, this is the program that I created during my industry affiliates program placement. It's a world trade game. It's an online prototype of a game that the university will use with the environmental students. It was created in conjunction with the SEAT team, which is part of the Learning and Teaching Division of Information Services at Griffith University. The aspects of the project that were completed during the IAP placement included the login screen, the lobby screen, the waiting screen, the game initialization screen, the main game dashboard screen, the game instruction screen, the World Bank screen, and the game server interaction. So basically what the current situation was at the time when we developed this prototype was the academics in the environmental department used a paper-based game that was designed to simulate trade between rich countries and poor countries, and so doing demonstrated how the poor countries were bullied by the richer countries. Being that it was a paper-based game, the academics required 20 to 30 students to be present at the time and in the one room. Some of the problems encountered were communication between various students from different cultures, the complexity of the game, because it was limited to a point where it was too simple, and if you brought in more rules it introduced greater complexity and it got overwhelming to organise. And there was also the problem for the students that are not able to be present on the day and missing out on the learning opportunity. So the proposed solution, the solution that has been proposed and accepted, is to move this from a physical, large participant game over to an online multiplayer game that requires far less people to participate in order to achieve the required outcomes. By going to an online solution, we can achieve the following areas of benefit over the current implementation. It only requires 3 to 6 players to participate. The students can run their own games after class and attempt different outcomes. The distance education students can also participate, and as there'd be more than one group engaging with the online version, there would be more diversity of experiences which can be shared and discussed during the class. There's more involved metaphors that can be used to engage the users with the real-world examples. The advanced rules can be implemented so the real economic factors can be used. Varying prices of the commodities within the ranges means that no two games should ever be the same. The database tracking of the user's moves can provide insight on how the players are interacting with the game and other users. And by using the chat-based negotiation, the communication path with the other countries and the players, the discussions can be monitored so that the language is use appropriate. So basically it's a multiplayer online game that's dynamic. So let's get into it and have a look at it. So we start off with this is the opening screen. So students log in, they put in their student number. There's no need to put a password in it this time because it's only a prototype. So we click login and it logs into the lobby. And what you can see here is it tells you the aim of the game and who can play it. You've got your ID number and you've got the lobby, how many games are actually in session at the moment, which at the moment there aren't any running. Total number of players and the players online, highest earnings, lowest earnings, and the total earnings. So we'll close this, we'll minimize this one and we'll start these, so bring these into the room. So you can see it's actually changing how many players are actually in the lobby at the moment, so you can see how many are online. So I'll use this one, we'll expand this one up so you can see it a bit better. So I'll use this one to create the game. So what's happening now is it's telling them that they've successfully joined a session and that they're waiting for other players to join. And the other players can all see that a session has been created and the status is to be advised because it's not ready to play yet. So this player can join the session and the count in the room changes depending on how many people are in there. So we'll join these guys into the room, and now that there are 3 players, the person that started the game can actually click start game. So click start game and they've been dynamically allocated the different countries with the different level of resources and the amount of wealth so that they can see how it all works. So they start up with the opening screen that gives you some basic instructions on how to navigate the world. So you've got your rank in the game, so this one's rank 1 of 4, and then you've got your turn count, which is over here, so turn 0 of 10, then the time remaining for the turn, then you've got your production overview, so what you've actually produced throughout the game and how much money it's made. You've got your resource overview, so how much resources you've got. Then you've got your chat windows down here. This part's not actually implemented at the moment. It does monitor who's online, but it doesn't, and tells them when they've finished their turn, but it doesn't actually implement the chat section at this stage. Then you've got the number of trade offers. This section again isn't actually operating at the moment. The flags will actually tell you which countries are actually playing against in this round. Number 10 is, you've got little indicators here. Oh, number 10 is the end turn button, and then you've got all the different actions that you've got that you can conduct business, and there's little indicators down here to tell you when the actual players finish their turn, so that when you've understood all that, you click, yep, got it, and it starts the turn. So once, and it changes the indicator to say, yep, Japan is ready to go. So, and it's sent a message to all of the other players to let them know that this player is ready to start the game. So we'll do that with the other one. So now we know that these guys are ready. You can tell which country you are because of you've got your picture in the background, it tells you. So we've got Australia down here. And all this. So now they're all ready and the game timer is started. So it's ticking down the time. Each turn takes 3 minutes and you have no more than the 3 minutes. So as you can see, every country has a different number of people and a different amount of commodities, as well as a different amount of money that they've got in the bank. So the different screens that have been implemented so far, so I'll increase the size of this. We'll have a look at Australia to start off with. It's ranked 4 out of 4 in this game. So we've got the dashboard, which is this one, that tells you what to do in the turn. And you've got your production lines, so you've got here, you can click. This isn't fully implemented yet, but once it will be, they'll be actually able to use the firewood to create different items and then click submit. And this tells them what kind of risk there is in creating it. So then you've got the trading floor. So this is, if you've got these different items, you can trade them with another player. This section hasn't been fully implemented yet as well. The marketplace, this again is waiting for the next section to be developed further. And then you've got the World Trade Bank. This part has been developed fully so that people can borrow money or not. So this indicates the eligibility for different players as to whether or not they can borrow money. So Australia's got, they're allowed to borrow. But if you come in here and look at these ones, this one's allowed to. Here, this one would be declined because they just don't fit the parameters for borrowing money. So that's a 3-minute mark, so it's reset the turn again. So we come in again and we start again. So it's each player's different turn. When you've finished your turn, you click the end turn mark and it'll actually notify all of the other players that Australia has actually finished its turn. So again, we can come through and go, that one's finished their turn, that one's finished their turn, that one's finished their turn, and it starts the round again. So we'll come and have a look at Australia because they can borrow some money, so that makes it a little bit interesting. So you can also see where the interest is being earned through the player, so it's based on how much money the player's got. So this is where you can actually borrow some money to create some extra productivity. So say Australia wants to borrow $20, they can calculate to see whether or not they're likely to be offered. So it's interest per turn, yep. See, they should be able to manage that one, so they'll borrow some money. So it tells you that current debt is that. Their debt percentage is really good, so they could borrow some more money if they wanted to. So I'll calculate that one. It tells you how much interest you've got to pay per term, and then when they're ready to pay the money back, they can come in here and perfectly capable of paying the whole lot off in one go. So that then takes their current debt down to 0. And it's the next turn. And you can see here that the bank balance has increased. And yeah, that is basically the different functionality that the game has at this stage. looking forward to seeing it all completed. It's a very exciting project. Yeah, thanks for listening.